The first time the alien queen looked at me, the entire throne hall fell silent. Not the respectful silence of a royal court. The dangerous kind. The kind where soldiers tighten their grip on their weapons and advisors hold their breath, waiting to see if someone is about to die. I stood alone in the center of the chamber, surrounded by towering crystalline pillars that pulsed with faint blue light. The air hummed with energy, vibrating against my skin like a low-frequency storm. At the far end of the hall sat Queen Virilia of the Astrix Dominion. She was unlike any being I had ever seen. Her form was tall and elegant, her skin shimmering like liquid silver. Long strands of bioluminescent hair floated behind her as if gravity barely touched them. 6 slender arms rested on the arms of her throne, each adorned with rings that glowed with ancient power. Her golden eyes studied me with terrifying precision. I was just a human, or at least that's what everyone believed. 2 armored guards pushed me forward and forced me to kneel. Human explorer Marcus Hale, one of them announced in their sharp alien tongue, though the translator implant in my ear made it sound perfectly clear. Captured in the outer rings of the Dominion. The queen leaned forward slightly. "A spy?" she asked. "No, your majesty," the guard replied. "A scavenger vessel. Primitive technology. No military signatures." Her gaze returned to me. "Then explain," she said calmly, "why a human would dare enter my territory." I swallowed. My throat was dry. "My ship was damaged," I said. "I drifted across the border, without realizing it." The court murmured. Aliens of dozens of species whispered among themselves, their voices echoing through the vast hall. The Astrix Dominion ruled nearly half the known galaxy. Crossing their borders by accident was like walking into a volcano and claiming you didn't notice the heat. The queen watched me for several long seconds. Then she made a small gesture. One of the guards grabbed my jacket and tore it open. The movement was so sudden, I barely had time to react. Cold air rushed across my chest. And that's when everything changed. The moment her eyes fell on the glowing symbol etched into my skin, the queen froze. The entire throne room seemed to hold its breath. The seal on my chest pulsed with a faint blue light, an intricate circle filled with shifting lines that moved like living energy. It had appeared there 3 years ago. I had never known what it meant, but the queen clearly did. She stood. Slowly. Her expression had transformed from curiosity to shock. "That," she whispered. Her voice echoed across the chamber. "That power cannot belong to a human." The court erupted in confusion. What does she mean? Impossible. Is that the mark of the ancients? The guards gripping my arms suddenly loosened their hold. Not out of kindness. Out of fear. The queen descended the long steps of her throne, her glowing hair trailing behind her like a comet's tail. She stopped only a few feet away from me. Up close, her presence was overwhelming. Ancient. Powerful. Her golden eyes burned as they studied the seal on my chest. "Where did you get this?" she demanded. "I didn't get it anywhere," I said honestly. "It just appeared." Her gaze snapped to my face. "You expect me to believe that? It's the truth." One of her advisors rushed forward, a thin insect-like alien wrapped in flowing robes. "Your Majesty," it said urgently, "that symbol resembles the primordial seal of Ethern." A ripple of fear spread through the court. The queen's expression darkened. "I know what it resembles." She looked back at me. "The primordials vanished 10,000 years ago," she said slowly. "Their power shaped entire galaxies. Their technology is indistinguishable from magic." Her voice grew colder. "And you carry their mark on your body." "I didn't ask for it," I said. She studied me for another long moment. Then something strange happened. The seal on my chest flared brighter. Energy surged through my veins like liquid lightning. I gasped. The floor beneath me cracked. The crystalline pillars around the throne hall vibrated violently. Several advisors stumbled backward. The queen raised one of her glowing hands. A barrier of golden light surrounded us instantly, containing the eruption of power. Her eyes widened. He's activating it, she whispered. I'm not doing anything, I shouted. But the energy kept building. Images exploded inside my mind. Stars collapsing. Galaxies forming. Ancient beings made of pure light walking between dimensions. The primordials. And somehow they were connected to me. The power faded as suddenly as it had appeared. I collapsed onto the floor, breathing heavily. The hall was silent again. The queen dismissed the guards with a gesture. Leave us. The entire court hesitated. Now. They obeyed instantly. Within moments, the vast chamber was empty except for the two of us. She walked slowly around me, studying the seal again. You truly don't know what you carry, do you? No, I said. Then I will tell you. She stopped in front of me. 10,000 years ago, the primordials created guardians. Living vessels capable of channeling their power. I frowned. Guardians? They were meant to protect the balance of the universe. Her eyes hardened, but they vanished along with their creators. So you're saying, I'm one of them? That should be impossible. She pointed at the glowing seal. Because the guardians were never human. The room grew quiet again. Then why do I have this? I asked. The queen didn't answer immediately. Instead, she placed one of her hands near the seal. The moment her fingers approached it, the symbol reacted. A pulse of energy shot outward. The queen staggered back. For the first time since I'd seen her, she looked afraid. This power, she murmured. It recognizes you. I blinked. Recognizes me? She nodded slowly. As its rightful host. The weight of her words sank in. That's not possible. Yet here you are. She walked back toward her throne but didn't sit. Instead, she looked out across the empty hall, as if thinking through 1,000 possibilities. Finally, she spoke again. There are legends, she said quietly. Legends that the primordials hid their final guardian among a young species. Why? To ensure that no empire could control it. My stomach tightened. You mean humans? Yes. Her gaze returned to me. And if that legend is true, then you are not just a random human explorer. Her voice dropped to a whisper. You are the last primordial guardian. I laughed nervously. That's insane. Is it? She gestured toward the cracked floor. You nearly tore apart my throne hall by accident. I didn't have a response to that. The queen walked closer again. There is something else you must understand, she said. The Astrix Dominion is not the only power searching for primordial technology. Who else? Her expression darkened. The Void Ascendancy. Even the name felt heavy. They've spent centuries hunting relics of the primordials, she continued. If they discover you exist, they'll come after me. No. Her voice was cold. They will come after the entire galaxy. Silence fell between us. Finally, I spoke. So what happens now? The queen studied me carefully. Then she said something I didn't expect. You will stay here. My eyes widened. As a prisoner? No. She extended one of her glowing hands. As my ally. I hesitated. You trust me that easily? She smiled faintly. I trust the seal. The symbol on my chest pulsed again. Softly this time. Almost like it was agreeing with her. I took her hand. The moment our skin touched, the seal erupted with light. Energy spiraled around us like a living storm. Visions flooded my mind again. But this time they were clearer. The primordials hadn't vanished. They had transcended. And they had left one final message behind. For me. The light faded. The queen stared at me in shock. "What did you see?" she asked. I looked up at her. "They're coming back." Her breath caught. "When?" "Soon." The throne hall trembled slightly. Far beyond the palace walls, alarms began echoing across the city. The queen's eyes turned toward the distant horizon. A fleet of dark ships was appearing in orbit, black as void, silent as death. She whispered a single name, the Void Ascendancy. Their timing couldn't be worse, or more perfect. The seal on my chest burned with power. For the first time, I understood what it wanted, what it needed. I looked at the queen. "You said the seal recognizes me as its host." "Yes." "Then it's time we test that theory." Outside, the sky filled with enemy warships. The beginning of a war that would decide the fate of the galaxy. The queen studied me carefully. Then she smiled. Not with fear, but with excitement. "Very well, Guardian," she said. "Let us see if a human truly can wield the power of the primordials." I stepped forward as the seal flared brighter than ever before. And in that moment, I realized something else. The primordials hadn't chosen humanity by accident. They had chosen us because we were unpredictable, because we were stubborn, because when the universe needed someone to stand against impossible odds, humans were the ones who refused to kneel. The enemy fleet darkened the stars. The war was about to begin. And for the first time, since the seal appeared on my chest, I was ready.